Thank God it's Friday. Counting down to Christmas. Welcome to the show. It's Your View on TVC. And I am Tokpe Mark Odige. And I have my beautiful ladies. Everybody turned up. Already ready to clean up December. We don't dirty December here.
Yeah, so
how you doing, Mariam?
Holy people. We clean it up. But, you know, talking about Christmas, how many days is it to Christmas anyway?
What, 13 days?
13 days. Only?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Anyways, the other...
12
well,
days,
I have sort
12 days of Christmas. We're starting 12 days of Christmas from tomorrow.
So we, this year, I was like, see, I'm not doing this hard work of constantly decorating the tree and whatever. I just picked a few things that I like to do for decorating the place, and then the Christmas tree I left to the children. However it turns out, it's your Christmas tree, it's your Christmas decoration. So, you know, but it was nice. They were able to do that. And it took so much pressure off me because I tend to want to be in everything, have my fingers in everything, and then I'm tired and stressed at the end of the day. But I like that I'm able to delegate to them. They're old enough to take over. So yeah, it was good.
Thank God. I did do Christmas tree, so I don't stress myself. Not yet.
That's on my mood.
How you doing?
Doing well. So I'm so excited. The children are coming back today.
That was why you ordered yam.
I've stocked up the house, waiting for them. They sent down their list. Mommy, I want this, I want that. Everything is just waiting for them. I'm looking forward to seeing
eating
them.
over the next 3 weeks.
They will eat. But, you know, their presence. Then maybe when they come, first day, second day, will be okay. But from the third day, stop this, stop that. I'm not taking it. You people should come and go back to school. But it's always fun having them around. So I really look forward to it. That's what I'm going to do this weekend.
No, Amaka is partying all through this season.
Yes.
The only agenda Amaka has to party back to back.
But it's not the only agenda because clients are I don't know, clients are like this. They want
last
to
minute.
because January now, you know, before offices open, so December, everybody wants to close out on things, transactions. So trust me, I'm working overboard. I'm working late
round the clock.
Around the clock, but it's okay. But my banter today is the fact that I don't joke with Christmas. So I must buy myself Christmas. I say Christmas dress. Christmas dress is too important to me.
Wow.
I'll buy my Christmas dress. I'll buy my Christmas shoe. I was just gisting them.
The way she did about
makeup.
You know those 3-year-old girls.
I don't joke with my Christmas, so I'll dress up. So the makeup, I was just gisting them how my worst Christmas, I and my sister, we can never forget it in our entire life. My mom had taken us to go and buy our Christmas clothes and order it and everything. We had chosen the dress, the shoe. We were just ready. I'd start myself
Christmas
in my
service.
head. That's a few days to Christmas. Now, when I said, let's go and collect the
outfit.
Story. The woman I said that the armed robbers now came, that shop bonds, armed robbers now, we wept. I and my sister. I said it's my worst Christmas. I can't forget. We cried. They now told us that, okay, woman I said she has alternatives. I thought that we went to sell our cloth and she was giving us the alternative. Look at us looking terrible. Then my sister should.
It's still new. But it's terrible.
My mother was trying to force her leg. My sister said, this shoe is not fine. She was crying. My mother said, it is fine. Wear it. It is very beautiful. I said, why do mothers do this thing? You can see that something is not nice. You're telling your child that it's fine. So that's Christmas. And my sister is the most horrible Christmas experience. After that, I don't want to ever have that kind of experience. And my mom now always makes sure that she always buys 2 clothes. So in case one messes up, because we gave her hell.
So I feel like, so I watched I've been watching a lot of Christmas movies. You know, all those platforms, the first thing you will see, Christmas, Rishi. So one of the Christmas movies was talking about the tradition, that we continue tradition because of we recognize the efforts other people, our parents or grandparents, put into instilling that tradition. I did not have, my parents did not put the tradition of hard work is what my parents gave me. So I listen to all of you now. I'm feeling like, am I not giving my children? I should actually give them. I should make the effort to give them that tradition. You know, I do buy new clothes for them for Christmas, but I don't dramatize it. They would have new things to wear, but it's not like I'm wearing a new dress and my church does not do Christmas service, so there's really nowhere we're going to. We're usually at home on Christmas Day.
So that's a new tradition of eco-friendly Christmas.
Exactly.
So I'll be talking about it on one of my posts soon, but you're able to get maybe plants you already have in your house and have them decorated. So you're not going to go and get special Christmas tree.
And I do have like a Christmas tree, kind of those plants that look like it outside my house.
And they can come up with designs themselves that they make with their hands, and it's sustainable, and it is not made out of paper, not plastic. And you see, you feel good. So it's a good tradition.
We admire this kind of the way you put your Christmas and all of that. So we Muslims too started doing something like that during Ramadan.
Me, I'm turned up
so nice.
all through this season. I'm not tying gele. I'm wearing my husband's cap. When I was coming this morning, I picked 2 colors. They helped me select one. I'm like, Mr. Mark, don't worry. All your caps, I will wear it for you throughout Christmas. Because so cool. By the time you tie gele and your ears are peppering you, your head is paining. I'm like, no. And tomorrow is my praise party. As in this year is a year of we survived and we will testify. So tomorrow I'm hosting I have like 2 comedians, 3 church choir, 2 dance groups, and 1 worship leader. Like it is a all out 6 hours of praise at the. I'm using the Elevation Church in Maryland to host it. There'll be food and drinks. It is sacrificial praise, but it's something we need to do, and it is me sowing a seed and letting others know that it doesn't matter. We don't praise God because it's convenient. You praise God because that's who we are and what we do. So we'll take a break.
You say you don't have a tradition.
And we have unusual
yes, so I have tradition of praise, I do. No, I'm a radical praise.
Yes. Why not you have unusual praise today?
We will take a break. There's gist in our body, don't worry. It's Friday. When we return, we'll go through the serious stories in the papers before we enter our gist. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're starting our front page review with the Punch. Nation. We always start with Nation, standard. Major headline. So government tampering with council funds, impeachable offense. That's what the major headline in the Nation says, that the government tampering with council funds is an impeachable offense. The AGF has warned the consequences of circumventing the Supreme Court judgment on autonomy. And in other news, we have governors embrace state police. Proposal for fine-tuning next month. Nnamdi Kanu likely for release soon. That's from Benjali Kalu raises hope. Aliyah to hold town hall meeting on tax reform bills. ACF raises committee. Labour Party heads for court after losing 5th rep to APC in 1 week. Kano governor fires SSG 5 commissioners and scraps Chief of Staff office. Now, that is a story I would like to hear. And Wike threatens revocation of defaulters' land. Okay, what story are we starting with?
The story of the Kano governor, SSG. They said the governor of Kano State, that's Abba Yusuf, he sacked his secretary, SSG, that's his name is Abdullahi Bafa Bichi, and 5 of his other commissioners. And their names are Ibrahim Jibril Fage of Finance, as his finance minister, his commissioner of finance, Ladidi Ibrahim Garko, culture and tourism, Baba Halilu, information and internal affairs, Shehu Aliyu, special duties, and Abbas Sani, rural and community development guy. So he said he wants to realign his government, his administration, and he wants to make some more adjustments to it. He said that this decision will enable optimum performance that will drive more dividends of democracy to the people of Kano State. And of course, he has said that those ones who have resigned, that they should come back and that he's going to, he may reassign them to other.
I think there's more to that story than what we are hearing, but
yes, but those are the only things they said in the
okay.
Specify worry.
So, all right. So the House of Representatives Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kano has said that the indigenous peoples of Biafra, IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu would soon be freed.
Okay.
Yeah, the Deputy Speaker said high-level on-the-ground dialogues, relevant authorities were ongoing to secure Kanu's release. Yeah, he said this, he dropped these hints at the meeting in Abuja of the Southeast Legislators Forum, where he said that, they are trying to canvass because this Nnamdi Kanu being incarcerated has been causing the sit-at-home. Sit-at-home is making the Igbos, people in the Southeast, to lose a lot on Mondays. They sit at home on Mondays. So they're doing everything possible to be able to free him. He also mentioned that, that the power of networking is more than money, that there's unity in power, that the Igbos are in the Southeast, that they should come together and support the Southeast Development Commission in realizing its objectives, and the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu stressing that the government means well for Ndibu and Nigerians in general. So hopefully, let's see what happens, because we know he's been incarcerated since 2021, and everything that's been done for him to have, for him to be bailed, but that has not been successful. So let's see what happens next.
Yeah, I have Governor Hyacinth Alia of Benue State. As we know, he's the Catholic priest who is the governor and who has made transparency his watchword for his administration. He says that he plans on having town hall meetings to explain the benefits of tax reform bills to his people. He said that he's optimistic that despite the hiccups, the tax bills will be passed and become law, and that he's giving all the backing necessary for the bills to be considered by the National Assembly. He says, I have committed myself to supporting the bills because if passed, the tax law will aid quick development in the states. He assured that majority of the governors are in support of the bills. And then, you know, in explanation of why he's holding town hall meetings, he says, we need to explain it to the people and get the understanding of our people. So this is what we're talking very, you know, I like that he's doing that. And that's one of the things we've always talked about, that making the bills that we think is best for our people is one thing, and making sure that we understand why we're pushing these policies and bills is important, and he's doing that. So
and it should trickle down to other states so that there will be, once there's information, once you switch on the light, then there's less confusion. Moving on to the Punch, major headline, local government autonomy. Federal government threatens contempt suit against errant governors. Lawyers, states, attorney generals, they are aiding governors' risk. That's from, and then there might be sanctions as well. I think that's a very, very important story because we all celebrated the local government autonomy Supreme Court ruling. In other news, INEC to phase out PVC's plans diaspora voting. Federal government issues 1 trillion naira sukuk bond to fund 128 road projects. Yuletide, Inspector General orders nationwide deployment of cops. Secular Road, Oyo begins fresh landowners verification. Tax reform, APC governors may meet National Assembly, ACF raises panel. Tinubu present 2025 budget to National Assembly on Tuesday. State Police, NEC resumes talks, January governors submits reports. So there's going to be conversation around State Police soon. Imported petrol landing cost drops to 900 per litre. All right, so what story can we take before we go on a break?
The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered the immediate deployment of police personnel to strategic locations, key areas, and identified hotspots nationwide during the festive season. They said the IGP has directed the immediate deployment of adequate personnel to strategic locations, key areas, identified hotspots across the states. The initiative is aimed at curbing traffic, highway robberies, and other criminal activities during this period of increased mobility, public gatherings, and celebration. So this emphasizes the IG's commitment to public safety, noting that significant progress has been made in combating crime. Security operatives will be positioned on major highways and roads to deter criminal activities, especially the highway. Well done, police. We know that many times we call you out for some behaviors that are not acceptable, but also we need to commend you when, you know, you do things that are in line with, you know, your duties. And so for me, I think this is welcome, and thank you for doing that, because really during festive season there seems to be a spike in crime, and to have that you have already taken steps to prevent that is commendable. So thank you.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with Front Page Review. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing the front pages of the paper and we're currently talking about the stories in Punch.
Okay, so the Independent National Electoral Commission has proposed sweeping reforms to improve the country's electoral systems following lessons learned from the 2023 general elections and subsequent off-cycle polls. Among the reforms being proposed are diaspora voting and phasing out of the use of the permanent voter's card during elections. This is interesting. Professor Mahmoud Yakubu stated this, that INEC would soon present these proposals and more to the relevant committees in the Senate and House of Representatives. He said among the major highlights of the Commission's recommendation is the imperative of legal clarity in result management with regard to manual transfer versus electronic transmissions of results. He also believes that with the introduction of the bimodal voter accreditation system, that the use of permanent voter's card as the sole means of identification for voter accreditation on elections day should be reviewed. Because that even though you have your PVC, you can still use it to vote on that day. But now moving forward, the computer-generated slips will be issued to voters and then even downloaded from the Commission's website, that those ones to suffice and will be read for voter and be used and will be accredited. That this will also save costs and will eliminate issues around collection of PVCs and the diabolical practice of buying cards from voters in order to disenfranchise others. So let's see how this will work. With all the amounts of money that's been spent on PVCs, you know, Nigeria, I don't know why they can't do one thing and stick to it. You know, this just happened. And
because every time you do something, you will see you have to keep on upgrading. However, I feel like we have a challenge of when things don't work, rather than trying to fix it, we boycott it.
That's what's
with all the money spent. And
well, I like the idea.
I have a story now.
Computer. Yes, I have a story of the petrol landing cost. So they said the estimated cost of landing petrol on Nigerian shores has seen a considerable reduction of 36 naira, dropping to 900 naira per litre.
We still importing?
They said yes. They said the marketers. They said that the crude oil prices and foreign exchange rates are the major factors that determine the cost of refined petroleum products, including petrol, diesel, aviation fuel, and kerosene, amongst others. And they are saying that the price of petrol with Dangote refinery is 970 naira per litre, while the Port Harcourt Refinery Company has its own at 1,030 naira per litre. So this development suggests that, that the imported fuel is less expensive than the domestically refined products. So they are now saying that the marketers have imported a total sum of 121.1 million litres to meet domestic supply.
On behalf of Dangote, we are warning all these people.
And they are now saying that the importation is never going to stop, that they are in it and they will continue to be in it because they are seeing significant profit from it. So I'm now wondering, what are we really doing?
Because with Dangote, we are guaranteed the quality of our fuel. With importation, we are not guaranteed the quality of our fuel. And we also might need to sacrifice to support a Nigerian-owned business. That is a valid thing government and people do, because you don't want businesses to die and lose employment of people because you want to import as a cheaper way.
Well, and the Port Harcourt refinery is still expensive. Their cost per litre is more expensive than
our government. Anyway,
options.
But moving on to Nigerian Tribune, major headline: Labour Party woes worsen. Tribune with the headline: as another rep joins APC, Tinubu and leadership crisis has been cited, and the party they are heading to court to seek. To declare the lawmakers' seats vacant. So all the lawmakers said about 8 senators, party now has 6. From 8 senators, party now has 6. And the Reps Labour Party caucus demand constitution amendment to halt this defection. They want the constituents to recall defectors. Tinubu to present 2025 budget to Joint National Assembly December 17. Ekiti Airport gets NCAA approval to commence non-scheduled flight operations from December. I'm happy about that. Odukpani Itsu Highway. Senate issues arrest warrant against Julius Berger, MD. Now, that is an interesting story. The local government autonomy. Those who tamper with local government funds are guilty of gross misconduct. AGF warns. Court orders remand of 12 mechanics who allegedly threatened Governor Makinde. And many states will implement new minimum wage by January. That's from the federal government. INEC to review PVCs as sole means of accreditation. We've discussed that already. NEC to decide on state police in January. Ground rent. We won't look at your face. Wike threatens revocation. Apparently, today is also Wike's birthday. So we are wishing our Minister Wike, former governor and current minister, happy birthday. What story are we taking?
Okay, so I have the local government autonomy gist.
Oh, okay.
They said the federal government yesterday said it will initiate criminal actions against elected officials that collude with the governors to divert allocations meant for the 774 local government areas in the country. They said that this is in line with the judgment of the Supreme Court that granted financial autonomy to the local government. That they are aware that some of the governors have planted their loyalists in the local government area so that they'll be able to siphon funds back to them. And they are saying that, the federal government is now saying that they will interfere with the local government elections. That if they interfere and they find out that some of these governors have a hand in it, that they are going to, that they will hold the local government people accountable. So they said that that if the federal government will interfere with the local government, that they should not interfere with the local government elections, that's the governors, and that if the local government mismanage funds released to them from the federation accounts, that they will be held accountable. So, and he's saying that, he's also saying that they will not hesitate to file another action to challenge the powers of state governments. So all they are just trying to do is to make sure that everybody, funds are being, the local government are handling their funds, while the governors shouldn't be part of these funds. Let's see how it goes.
So the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has approved the commencement of non-scheduled flight operations
at the
Ekiti Agro-Allied International Cargo Airport, effective from December 15th. This is just for 6 months. So Special Advisor to Governor Biodun Oyebanji has revealed that the NCAA's approval of the non-scheduled operations under visual flight rules at the airport is for a period of 6 months between December 15 to June 15, 2025. This is usually done pending findings and to allow Ekiti State government time to rectify a few outstanding corrective action items indicated in the agency's last inspection report. So this would only enable private jets and other chartered flights to land between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. So between sunrise and sunset. So preparatory to the final approval of commercial flight operations, Governor Yebanji had earlier in the year assured stakeholders that the Ekiti airport would become operational before the end of the year, and he kept to his words.
We're happy to hear that, because when a state has a functional airport, it opens up more business opportunity. More people will be willing to go there because they know they can go in and go out early. I have the story of the governor of Oyo State ordering, not him, sorry, the courts, magistrate courts in Yagaku. I know I did not pronounce that well in Ibadan. They ordered the arrest of 12 mechanics. So let me tell you what the mechanics did. Apparently, maybe the government took them out of their land. Okay. But it was legal. They now went on video and posted on social media and threatened the governor's life, threatened to take him out of office, and accused him of illegally taking over their land. Based on that video evidence, all of them in the video, 12 of them have been arrested and remanded in courts. The charges against them include that the treasonable felony, threat to murder, publication of defamatory matter, threatening violence, publication and publication of false news, unlawful assembly, as in they have case against them. And I'm highlighting this story because many of us, some people there, they don't have any business there. They just jumped on the video and showed their face, and now they are going to be spending Christmas in prison because the case has been adjourned till next year before they will be reading it. Everything you put online can be used against you in court. You need to be sure that whatever you're posting is factual. That's the lesson from this one. But you have a story? No. So let's move on to Vanguard. Major headline, 2026 World Cup qualification, a mountain too high for Super Eagles? That's a very, very valid question because we're looking forward to seeing them play. Ondo workers protest. Ondo workers protest. The lockout leaders over unpaid minimum wage. Defection. Labour Party heads to court. We've been hearing that story over and over again, but nobody was interested in taking the story. Senate to Wike, stop further demolitions in FCT. And Wike replied, well, he wasn't replying, he just put a rider. We are not moved by sentiments. Okwama leaders, more stakeholders condemn death in army detention. We are yet to get confirmation from army, that's from the Delta governor. Insecurity, governors endorse creation of state police. Pension assets to exceed 22 trillion naira by end of 2024. What story would we be taking?
I have the insecurity governors. So majority of the 36 state governors have endorsed the creation of state police in the country. Governor Ubasani of Kaduna State has said. The National Economic Council, NEC, has scheduled to consider the submissions by the state governors on the creation of state police in January next year. Anyway, in summary, they said, so all we're saying here is that 35 states have made their own submission and many states are in agreement for the establishment of state police, considering the fact that virtually every state has their peculiarity in terms of the problem of insecurity we have in our states, knowing fully well that we have a lot of ungoverned space in Nigeria and also that we have a lot of deficit in terms of number of boots on ground, looking at the fact that a lot of security agencies, the police, the army and other relevant security agencies have no personnel to cover all the government space. That is the reason why most of us agreed that establishment of state police in Nigeria is the way forward toward addressing the problem of insecurity in our own country. So that's all in summary. And based on the facts that were mentioned,
Makes sense.
it makes sense. So the only state that hasn't yet made a submission is the FCT. So, but they're holding on until January to continue conversations.
I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm also a supporter of state police. We need to have local solutions to local problems, and we cannot expect a central body to be able to solve the different problems we're facing in terms of security. So we wish them the best.
Yeah.
Take a quick break now. It's Friday. We have plenty gist. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So our hot topic for today is centered around this 56-year-old man. It's a Nigerian man. He's been married for 16 years. And obviously they don't have a child, only for him to discover that his wife had lost her womb before they even got married. So that means that he's lived a life for 16 years thinking they were going to have a child and they did it. And the woman knew that she lost her womb in an abortion that she did before they met. So we're going to be discussing this. I want to know your thoughts on this. Are we talking about dishonesty? Are we talking, why would she hide that kind of information? How can this kind of thing happen? It's not strange. We've heard stories like this before, but we just want to get your opinion on what you would do. How would you handle the situation? Should he forgive her? Does she even have a right to ask for forgiveness? What can they do? Join our conversation by calling us on the numbers on your screen, 0810-7641-679, or you can tweet to us on x.com, #YourViewTVC. You could also go on our YouTube stream right now and put your comment there. We'd love to hear from you. So we're discussing the lies, we are discussing the torture, and the fact that a man has been lied to for 16 years. Should there be forgiveness? How can this be dealt with? Mariam, when you read the story, what was your opinion?
You know, first of all, I felt truly sorry for this man to have lived, with a wife who lied to him for so long. It must have only been heartbreaking to finally realize that probably all the places that they have gone, the sort of money that he would have been putting in, and both of them, putting in, thinking that this was something that could be sorted out, and she knowing from the get-go that there was nothing could be done, and then years after, you say to the man, this is what happens. I don't know about forgiveness. I mean, it's important to forgive because in the end, you do it for yourself, but I think that's one of the hardest thing to forgive, and to think that someone could do that to somebody for many years, you know, it's heartbreaking. Now, you know, but a few questions that I have is that in the years that they were seeking help, was he part of, you know, the journey? Because many times, for me, the only way she could have hidden it is, well, there are two things. Either she deliberately did in such a way that he was not there whenever they had to do like hospital, or she would lie about going to hospital, or he let her, like most men do, where they allowed the woman to go and sort herself out. And then maybe years later, now, when he finds out, is when he finds out exactly what's happening. Because I was wondering, like, was there ever a time during that?
Yes, you never went for a scan
Did
together.
not go for a scan together, did not seek a second opinion that the doctor or whoever it is was from his end, you know? So for me to have gone 16 whole years, but also I understand that a woman, if she has something to hide, or anybody that has something to hide, can go for as long and as far as they need to go to keep it a secret. Unfortunately, I mean, a lot of time has passed. He hopefully is able to still have children if that is what he still wants. But what that woman did was for me, I would say unforgivable, but I guess it can be forgiven, but it was so wrong. Yeah.
Okay, so I would say that the lady, she's very mean. She's very mean, and I don't want to use the word wicked, but because...
Call it what it is.
Honestly, she's very wicked, and I'm just... In fact, when I heard this story, I was devastated. I was like, how can you stay with a man for 16 years, knowing fully well that you guys can't have kids, and you have not come out openly to come and say this and all? Okay, let's now look at from her own side of view, saying maybe she doesn't really want to say what, you know, she wanted to keep it as a secret. Fine. You will have brought out other ways, other means of how they can have children. You should have thought of adoption. You should have thought of surrogacy. You should have thought of so many other things. If she really wants to cover up, she should have still continued with the lie, kind of say, okay, and since we can't have kids, let's try and adopt, or let's try and do this, let's try and do that. You know, she should have just sorted out other means for them to have kids. But for her to just keep quiet like that, I'm just wondering how much more lies she has you know, she has in the course of the marriage. I'm just wondering how much she has gone through and all of that. And then number two, I'll also say the guy, he didn't really ask questions, you know, her past relationships, what she did, the kind of life she lived before, you know, getting married and all.
People can
lie.
They can lie, but you know, you can still find out.
Like why?
Somehow you can still find out and all, but still, you can find out from her friends.
That's if you suspect.
Are you supposed, or like, so you can, some friends might not know. Let me hear, because you were very pained when
I was very pained when I read this, because I really feel for the man, because this is just a case of sleeping with your enemy, being in bed with your enemy. You understand? And that, it brings me to the question, like, what do people actually think love is? What is your definition of love? Does love really exist in marriages or relationships or partnerships? Because you begin to question people's definition of love. You might feel that you're on the same journey or path with somebody, but obviously you're not. And, you know, with what Mariam said, in terms of manipulation, someone can manipulate you not to find the truth, because they know they have something to hide. They will manipulate you to the point that, you know, they'll use with love, everything to even, they might even forge documents or whatever, just to distract you. You don't know the extent that people might go just to manipulate you, to distract you, not to find the truth. So this is painful and this is so sad, you know, as regards this particular issue. And I can just, I wonder in my head when I read this thing, that imagine if the man is a prayerful man and he wakes up at night and he's kabashing, and every day you're hearing his prayer points, you know what he desires. 16 years. For him to be talking about it and he's pained, and you watch this person that you claim that you care about, you love, that you're married to, go through this for 16 years. You robbed him of, you didn't give him a choice. Because see, when it comes to having children, there are no guarantees in life. You can be married to somebody, both of you are healthy, both of you are, everything is fine.
Doesn't happen.
It just doesn't happen. God just feels that it's not the right time. But then at least the person has a choice. You don't take away people's power of choice away from them. What are you so scared of? And a lot is happening now in society where people hide a lot of things. They don't put things on the table before marriage, before relationships. And it's sad. Well,
So for me, when I read the story, and I'm like, this is really, really like, there's the breach of trust is very, very, is a huge breach of trust, because you now have a couple that you'll be wondering what else, what other lie did she say? Like, what, is there anything she has told me in the past 16 years that is true? What, can I ever believe anything she says again? Like, if she says anything now, you're like, it's 500 naira. I'm like, okay, that was how you said you had a womb. The TV is off. Okay, that was how you said you had a womb.
It's morning.
It's morning. Oh, let me check outside.
Let me check outside.
You know, like, if you say it's morning, I'll be like, let me check outside, because that was how you said you had a womb. You know, so it's a major breach of trust.
Yeah.
And when it comes to forgiveness, I can forgive you, but trusting anything you say again, the likelihood of that happening, that marriage already, there's a big rift in the marriage. And the thing is, a lot of women, is that marriage? A lot of women probably, or even men, because this has happened from both men as well as women, where a partner knows that they have a medical condition and that still they don't disclose it because of the fear of what would happen if the person knows I have this medical condition. Bringing me to, we don't explore the power of science. If you've lost your womb, you can still have eggs. Eggs can be frozen.
Yeah.
IVF can take place. Somebody can carry the baby for you. We don't explore it. I knew someone that was getting married in her 40s, and she told her fiancé that I have fibroid. Let's go and meet my gynecologist and obstetrician together, so that before the wedding day, like, I know her well enough to know that they had this first checkup 3 months before getting married. 3 months. Full disclosure, that marriage is born on the bedrock of we're honest with one another. I have fibroid. It might affect our ability to have children. So the man knew what he was signing up for. He went to the hospital. They did checks. They checked her name, checked on her, and said, okay, we'll do surgery. Should we do it before the wedding or after the wedding? As in, like, the level of honesty that if you are married, marriage is a place where we are vulnerable, open and not ashamed. You are naked with each other. So why would you now be hiding one part of yourself or something that, why would somebody know about something and your husband does not know about it, especially if you know that this your husband is something he wants? Ha.
I was wondering, in the 16 years, she didn't have a period?
No, she do have period.
Yes,
Can you have period?
yeah, like, if you have eggs, you can have
eggs,
period.
you can,
Yes, so she didn't have that for 16 years. He didn't notice, or she kept that life for 16 years, pretended she was
having her period.
her period, you know.
I have a very story.
So
I don't know if Mariah shared the story before, but it's someone close to us that we attended. Mariah and I attended the wedding, and the person
Talked about it recently.
faked being pregnant. I was at the wedding ceremony. We all saw the
Baby bump.
stomach, the bump. Room was prepared for baby, and she wasn't pregnant. Everybody was expecting twins. Bought everything 2-2, and she wasn't pregnant. Like, some people get mind.
How did you guys find out?
Baby will not come now.
Baby
Baby is
not come.
supposed to come. Will not
It's-
come.
it's-
So
yeah.
people lie, and you know, I like the word that you use, manipulate, as well. So they lie and they manipulate. Recently, I posted that, you know, the older that I get, the more I realize that, you see, many people lack basic decency. Because you are here, you're dealing with people, a person, and you think at least that basic decency, at least some form of integrity, you know, but many people don't have that. You're here making friendships, having, you know, getting into marriages, having business partners, but there are people just sitting down waiting for how they can find ways to just
scam you.
destroy you, scam you, or whatever, lie about you, or whatever. So the thing with marriage is that it is a risk. You're hoping that whoever it is that you're ending up with really is your partner, has your back, wants the best for you. I always say that there's some marriages that break up, not because they are not meant for each other, but you realize that this man wants a child, and I cannot give this person a child. I'm sorry, this relationship cannot continue. Some people don't love you to the extent that they're willing to walk away so that you can go ahead and have your own dream, or it is whatever it is that you want.
Yeah.
Let me take this call. Godfrey has called in. Welcome to the show. Good morning. Hello. Oh, so sorry we missed that
Yeah.
call.
So you realize that, like, I have an auntie, an uncle that decided, they got married and decided that they don't want to have children. See, life,
Nigerian.
yes, they are Nigerians, even though they don't live here. See, life is about, see, I always say it on this show, marry your type. There's always somebody for somebody. If you have a condition, there's also someone that does not like children. There's also someone that does not want to be a father. There's also someone that does not want to be a mother. Find that person that, lay your cards on the table and find that person that you don't have to pretend, that will accept you for who you are. You understand? Because like another friend of mine, she was supposed to get married. She's been in this relationship for about 2 years. And one day she called me and she said that she was cleaning up the guy's place and she saw some drugs. So she wanted to know, like, as in what they were and everything. So she now found out that her parents are both doctors. So, and then she had 2 of her sisters are doctors. So by the time she asked, because she used to be a banker, we found out that the drugs were to treat erectile dysfunction. So when she was not gisting me, and I asked her, and I said, is it that the two have not been done, or the thing has not been tested, the car has not been tested? She now said no, that the guy keeps saying that he's born again, that when they marry, that his church does not allow. And I said, so even when people are talking or whatever, nothing happens. She just said no, that he does not even allow for those things.
He doesn't get that far.
Yes, and so she now found out, and that's how that relationship ended. But guess what?
Wow.
This other person is not my friend, but her own friend. So when this whole thing happened and we're not having conversation, we now found out that another friend that is her friend went through the same thing and then got married, and then I found out that
Wasn't married.
it was like, what was the smallest car?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
B2.
It was like a B2 for children. You know, these children cars are quite, and it was crazy. So she had to dissolve the marriage because, like, you can't work with that.
Yeah.
Let me take Yaya from Port Harcourt before I come to you, Aramatu. Welcome to the show,
I can't
Aramatu.
work with that.
Welcome to the show, Yaya. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
This is my first time calling.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So today's topic is a very interesting one. So for my advice to that man is, okay, thank you. My advice to the man is to forgive the lady. To me, there's nothing that not to forgive.
Okay.
But the only thing is he has to take another wife. And the lady should not leave that marriage. The lady should stay in that marriage, and the man should take the second wife. So that if he has children with that second wife, both of them will raise those children. Because the woman is a very wicked woman. They would have opened up to that man.
Thank you for your contributions, Yaya. We all have different ways we think about.
So if I will answer his call, I don't think I'll still stay with that kind of person. If that person can deceive me to this level, I don't think I can stay with that person. We're just going to part ways.
You can do this to me. What else would you do to me?
Exactly. So I'll just come from the angle of the fact that we women will have to be very careful the kind of life we live when we are young. You see, like, I don't know what the reason is why she couldn't come out to say this was what happened to her. But I know that if we're a bit more careful when we're young, we should be very careful with the kind of life we live and the way we do our things when we are young. All these having extra premarital sex before marriage, and taking you see a lot of girls will tell you they will go, they sleep with their
relationship boyfriend and
they sleep with, and then they start taking all these pills. Sometimes these pills, they have side effects. A lot of them can affect you after a while. I know of somebody who said, no, me, I can't use, my boyfriend can't use CD on me. It has to be raw and all of that. And she kept on getting, pregnant and taking it out. And that was what now happened. She now got, there's this,
married.
She got PID, pelvic inflammatory disease. It was so bad that it damaged her womb from inside. So they had to remove her womb. So all of these things, they happen. So we just have to be careful with the kind of life we live before we get married. So these things are things you can avoid. It just depends on the kind of lifestyle you're living before you get married. So
let me take Choma. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Tokwe?
Very well, thank you.
My greetings to Amaka and the other people, Mura, everybody, first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. You see, Tokwe, that woman is a very wicked woman. Unless if the husband is guilty of the whole thing, if the husband is the one that did the abortion for her. She's supposed to ask the husband to marry another wife so that she can take care of that wife and the newborn. She's a wicked woman. She should get her from that man's house. I'm a woman. I don't support adoption. I don't support surrogate. Let that woman get out of that man's house so that the man can be able to get a wife. She doesn't deserve any forgiveness. God will not forgive her.
Ooh,
Human beings cannot forgive her. The husband will not forgive her. She's a wicked woman. How can she know that the pregnancy, her womb is condemned and she's sleeping with such a man? Unless if the man is guilty, the man is the person that destroyed her womb, unless that. If not so, my contribution is that man should throw her out of the house and marry another wife. Thank you.
Thank you. So obviously, the general consensus in terms of what should be the next line of action is marry a different wife. I think that sometimes, as we've had this conversation, we've not acknowledged something very important, which is the fact that if you're having infertility issues, both parties should always go to the hospital to check themselves. And in the line of being checked, the information would have come out one way or the other that there's a problem somewhere. Most men don't go for these checks. They feel, you do the check, give me the information. You do the check, let me know what's going on. So you can easily be deceived. Even the story that I mentioned that is very close, that we went for the wedding, I was like, did you not follow her for any antenatal? He didn't. They didn't go for any antenatal together. They said she was saying, no need, I can go alone, no need. They said, no need. But like, you are a father, you have vested interest. If you want to have a child, and you can see that your wife keeps saying, don't worry, I'm the one going for treatment, I'm the one going for treatment. You must refuse to be manipulated.
See, when a woman is on a mission, you can't tell when she's telling.
So I have this story. It's not in connection with woman and man, but this is how far a human being can go to manipulate.
Let's take the story after the break.
Okay.
We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll continue with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we've been gisting behind the scene about this thing about manipulation, the extent with which people can go to manipulate others, how someone can be deceptive, you know, like the caller said, a wicked person will do anything to manipulate to achieve his or her goals. And Mariam wanted to share a story.
Yes, I wanted to share a story of how far people can go to be manipulative. This did not happen in Nigeria, but was a documentary I'd watched of a man. He was a doctor, and he would see some of his clients, and then he would drug them and rape them. They would wake up until they go home. They would, you know, eventually the women started reporting, but they could not find a DNA that connected them to the doctor. But they just knew that it was while they were at his place or after they had left that they felt that, you know, they had been defiled. And they had come, they would take his blood samples and nothing. Do you know what they found out? Because this man understood, you know, what was needed, he would take blood samples from, because he's running like a clinic, I got different blood samples. He'd take blood samples and put inside like a small vial, surgically insert the vial into his hand here or his wrist, wherever, and then when they come to take the sample, it's not his blood they're taking out. He was able to do that for so many years until after a while they had collated enough, you know, samples from him that they realized, how come every time we take it seems like we're taking a different blood sample?
You alone, you have different blood.
It had gone on for many years, and that is how far the human mind is. Like, that's how desperately wicked a human can be. So I can see, you know, yes, that's the thing with manipulation. So we're saying 16 years, thinking, how was she able to sustain this life for 16 years? Maybe something even just happened that he found that woman would have been willing to do it till the day she ended up in her grave. Yeah.
Let me take Ade from London. Welcome to the show, Ade. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
It's often said that after God, fear woman, after God. You can see what the woman cares for. If it's a man, he can't keep secret for 1 year.
That's not true.
But because it's a woman, they are very smart, you know? So My advice to that man is this: divorce that woman, marry someone else, and if you still love the woman, let's rent house for her outside, or adopt the child, and all your wills to that child you adopted, leave nothing for that woman. Simple. God
Maybe
bless
it's the
you.
woman that has the money.
What if it's the woman that has the money? I wanted to say that, Mr. Ade, some women have served into your hands, so you can now give us fear, or after fearing God, fear women.
And you know what? I didn't want to do this. I wanted to keep it about
Let's keep it.
about the man
Let's
being
try, let's
right. But men have also, so it's about human beings. Men have also lied for many years. Many women have found out when their husbands were being buried that he had a whole other family, children all over the world, you know. So it's about human beings. People can be deceptive.
Okay, so we already know my stand on this issue, that what this woman has done is terrible and whatever. So now I'm talking from the human perspective, where it's also important that when you're in any form of relationship, be it business, be it emotional relationship, to also try to create an enabling environment where the other party is not scared to trust you with their secrets. Because that's a conversation that has to be had.
Yeah.
You know, because even in marriages, that is not just about that the woman
They
has
tell you
deceived the
something
man
now,
or whatever. You use things
it
against your partner. Your partner does not trust you well enough to confide in you or to tell you. Even for some men, they will lose their jobs. Every day they wear cloth and go out because they can't tell their wives that you have lost work. Our finances have dwindled. So it's about both parties also creating an enabling environment. When there's love, creating an enabling environment where someone can trust you well enough that if they kill somebody, they can come and tell you that this is what just happened, this is what I did, that you can bear your worst self to that person, trusting the fact that they have your back.
Number two, but does that justify dishonesty, though? The fact that the environment is not conducive for honest
people
conversation,
to be honest,
or like the fact that anything you say might be used against you, does that justify
not opening up and being honest?
Yeah, sometimes, because, you know, like I said, I would have loved her to be. I think he didn't really give her the room for her to be able to talk. For 16 years, she kept all of this kind of terrible thing to herself. It's really, I don't even know what to say about her. So I'm just going to say that the only way that he can move forward is what the caller said, is for him to go get married to another woman and try and have kids. And if he should try as much as possible and forgive her, forgiveness is possible. But what if in the case, because I'm thinking, what if in the case that maybe he really loves her and doesn't want her to go? What will now happen? So I think if that's the case, then the only thing that they can do is maybe try and adopt, or he will get another wife, and then when the children come, they're all together and they stay together. But I don't know how the future is going to look like with this kind of heavy lie that she...
There's no justification for that, for lies, as far as I'm concerned. You should owe it to yourself to be a person of integrity and to be honest. And that is why, you know, earlier I said that some people don't even love you enough to walk away from you when they know that being with you will cause you more harm than good. You know, so to say to me that it's because you do not allow me express myself, you do not give me the room to express myself, please stop everything, shut everything down. I know that you never give me the opportunity, but this is the truth I want to tell you. And then let the person decide what they want to do. The truth is, many people hide behind that excuse so that they don't face the consequences of their actions. We should understand that everything has consequences, and we should be able to bear the consequences. Of course, I'm human, and many times I want to deflect, I want to hide. But in the end, on matters as serious as this, please, there is no room. For some people, it's just their ego. It's not that nobody's giving you room. It's just that, how do you bring yourself down to this person? How do you be vulnerable in front of this person so that the person sees you less than how you have projected yourself all this time? So some people have that. It's just ego, it's pride, you know, and so they would rather deceive you than for you to be vulnerable, than for them to be vulnerable with you. Because in this case, with this woman, you know, Tokwe, you said it, if she had spoken earlier on, there's science that could have helped them.
Many options.
Should have been vulnerable. You would have listened to her, bearing in mind that, you know, whatever the consequences are, and then he had listened and said, okay, let's go and find out scientifically in the hospital, what can we do even though you have this? And science says, I was just checking, science says even when a woman has had a hysterectomy and her ovaries are still intact, she's still able to have eggs and they're able to harvest that. She can have IVF, as she said, surrogacy, adoption. There's so many other options that she shut down because she refused to open up to this man.
Maybe she was expecting a miracle.
No, I think that we underestimate what men can handle. Many women believe he can't handle it. He would leave me. He might not love me enough. Because I recollect the person I know who told his her fiancé about, like, when it wasn't even a case of it was the moment she didn't know the relationship was going to work out. So she was like, "You're asking me, all these people that they'll just be, once they get close and they realize they will still feel, they would go away."
Yes.
So it was a case of, let me just even let you know my worst, like, this is my worst secret. This is my vulnerability. I have fibroids. And told the man, and the man was like, okay, let's go to your doctor.
Yeah.
She was shocked. And she took him to the doctor before they got married. And the doctor was like, this is the case, so they are big, this is what it's like, and it's growing, and this is what is going on. So before she can even have children, she needs to do surgery to remove this. As like, the man painted a very gory picture of how bad things would get before they can even get better, and it might not get better because she's in her 40s. And the man said, I'll still marry.
Yeah. At least
So we underestimate we underestimate what a willing man can handle.
Exactly.
A willing man will forgive a cheating wife. A willing man will forgive a woman that has no womb or she has no eggs. They will stay because I love this woman. I will make it work. But because we've heard these stories and we feel like he has options, he would walk away. But maybe he sees you as his only option, giving him peace of mind. So you now rid him of the opportunity because you are scared he will go.
Because there's, this conversation, I just remember I had the conversation with my husband concerning something like this. I was like, why is it harder for men to accept that a woman had a child before, and then yet they'll move on to someone that they're aware that has a child? So like maybe you find out that the woman had a child while you are married, she didn't disclose it, but you can go ahead and marry a single mother. And it says it's not about having the child out of wedlock or when she was single. It's the betrayal, it's the lies. Yeah. So you did not give me the option of deciding what I wanted. So that is what this is about. It's really about lies and lack of integrity, dishonesty. There used to be a time when they would say, oh, hide your children, for women who had children out of wedlock. Sorry, you want to take a call?
Yeah, Fred has called it from before. Welcome to the show. Good morning, Fred.
Good morning. Yeah, I would like to give an advice. The generation we are right now, I want us to understand something. The act of patience, a lot of people lack it. Look at what happened to Abraham and Sarah in the Bible before she gave birth. Do you understand? Do you know how many years it took her? So that's number one. Number two, we don't judge, we listen. Why we don't judge, we listen? The man needs to be wise. According to love, love covers a multitude of sins. If the man loves the woman very much, she can still harbor her in that house. But the man needs to be very wise. The man needs to go out, find another woman, let the woman give back for him. At least to be on the safer side. Look at the age of the man. The man is years old. I have a friend, they've been married for how many years? They married 2018. Till this very moment, the wife couldn't conceive for that friend of mine. What did this my friend did? He went outside, and followed another woman. The woman gave birth to a boy, bouncing baby boy. I asked him, how far, guy, is your wife aware of this? He said yes. So the man needs to be very wise, and if the man loves the woman, he can still harbor her. That's my own advice. So we can't judge. Let God handle the
there are other options these days.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fred. The way you are saying that wise, it seems like you're saying deception.
Yes.
The wisdom is like...
said the wife is aware.
No, but the wisdom is a...
No, the wife is aware.
If the wife is aware, then it's not deception. So...
But have you noticed that there's something that's been recurring that everybody has missed in terms of solution? Go out, marry another wife, marry another wife, marry another wife, right? You realize that it's so easy for the world to say, when a woman is married to a man that is impotent, nobody says the woman should go out to also still have her own child. It's so funny. It's so funny how it's so, life is not balanced. It's so funny. Well, how about that? Maybe you are telling the man go outside. How about that the man does not want to go outside?
How about they just adopt?
The man, as in, just loves his wife and doesn't want to be with some other person. Exactly. Why should that be the only solution available? Go outside. Go outside. How about him now deciding that I still want to be with my, I still want, but he can still decide that I'm still going to punish you. I still want to be with my woman. This is the person I love. Okay, let's look for a solution around this. The solution can be adoption.
Yeah.
The solution can be,
there are more options than go outside and have children. I get you, Amaka, calm down. I realize that every other person has just been saying, go outside. Nobody is saying adoption or surrogacy, and those are options. Don't limit yourself to the opportunity to cheat. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll continue with the show. Stay home. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing this very sad story about a 56-year-old man who discovered that his wife of 16 years lied about not having a womb, which she had taken out during an abortion before they even got married. And we've been discussing forgiveness. Everybody's option is that he should go and marry another woman to give him children. And Amaka was like, there are other options beyond that. You can do surrogacy, you can do adoption. And all of those kind of things, you know. So she was speaking so passionately, and I could feel her vibration. But we have some comments online. We'll take them before we move on to another topic.
Okay, so Joseph said that God will forgive her. Marriage is for better, for worse. They should sort it out.
Moses Lowell says, the heart of a woman is a deep ocean of secrets. Men should be guided by logic, never allowing to be trapped in complex emotional manipulations. The man showed logical weakness for not getting involved or getting to the root of the issue earlier. Then I got a story of someone who says that his wife lied to him about her genotype, even though he was upfront with her about his, from the beginning, his AS, and then 2 years down, and she also connived with doctors, you know, to perpetuate that lie. Years down the line, they have 2 children who are SS, but the deed has already been done, you know. That's how far people can go to, like, just to be, I don't know, you know, is that love or is that just...
Then Moses Ade says, most men don't subscribe to adoption. They want to see their own DNA and raise them. Is that too difficult?
How about those that don't have sperm?
Exactly. There are men that have low sperm motility. They cannot impregnate. Some even have 0 sperm, like it's blank, shooting blanks. And yet, what would they do? So let's not make it look like, you know, there's this thing about this culture, it has to be my child, it has to carry my DNA. I have seen people who love adopted children passionately. If you see those children as teenagers now, you would argue that they are the same DNA because they look alike as well over the years of being raised by these children. So can we just banish that old school thought of he has to have my DNA for this person to be my child? If you can love your wife, then you can love a child that is not your own. You can love. Let's remove that thought. But Tiwa Savage came online and she was trending from this podcast. You know, this podcast, people now, they unveil different things that we discuss just so that we can draw some or interrogate the decisions or the thought patterns that we have concerning those topics. So Tiwa Savage said she did not break up with any man based on cheating. Not like, she wasn't specific about, she was like all her relationships. She did not break up with any man based on cheating, but that she broke up based on drug abuse, emotional abuse, and that a deal breaker for her is like this point of no return. And for some people, deal breakers usually involve difference in values, relationship goals, personal life goals. What is your deal breaker, and what would you rate as a major deal breaker? Because another podcast that we're going to talk about was talking about the fact that that men don't cheat because they love another person. They usually just cheat because opportunity arises. So that cheating is not a reason for you to break a relationship, because he can love you and still cheat. And so maybe the opportunity just showed up and they say, let me just do this one. So why would you now break up over a one-off experience? That's the conversation we want to have right now. Because really, at the end of the day, what's a deal breaker? To join the conversation, you can call the numbers on your screen. We'd love to get your opinion online. I'm going to throw this one to Amaka as the best, not just Bebo, the freshest. That she's still in the market. She's still looking at what do I want.
So what's your deal breaker?
I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay, so for me, it's important to have conversations and communicate. I believe that you should always put everything on the table. I love to ask questions. Even if I'm not even dating years ago, I will ask everything out of your life. I like to find out stuff. I love to ask questions. So, number one, it's important for me to ask you. I ask up to your finances and everything, your projections is important to me. So I'm going to ask what your deal breakers are. I'm going to tell you what my deal breakers are, and you tell me what your deal breakers are. So I need to know if it's something I want to take a step forward with or not. So if someone is talking, like Tiwasala was talking about that she won't leave because a man cheats on her. But cheating, but that she can leave for emotional abuse. But cheating is an emotional abuse.
If he does it in your face,
yes, that cheating is an
or you
emotional
find out, and you feel emotionally like.
And then,
but if you don't know.
And then, but we need to also realize something. Like I always say on this show, we are a product of our environment. Some of us grew up in polygamous environment settings, while some of us did not.
Exactly.
So if you grew up in a polygamous environment, what you would tolerate might be different. Yeah. Right? And if you also grew up in a monogamous environment and then you saw so much kata or certain things that you feel that maybe a partner stepping out would have also helped to shape the narrative or maybe calm certain waters, depending on what's going on in terms of intimacy between partners, right? Because even partners at some point might agree, like, okay, something is not happening here, maybe because of medical condition or whatever, one partner has to step out. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's about communication. What are your deal breakers? And your deal breakers can keep changing over time. It's allowed to change. My deal breaker today might not be my deal breaker tomorrow, depending on the circumstances that we find ourselves in. So what I might say I will not tolerate today, depending on my circumstances and what is happening, I might decide to tolerate that thing tomorrow. So we're all different. At the end of the day, man, know thyself.
Okay, so for polygamy, for me, I think a lot of people misinterpret this polygamy the way it's done. So polygamy, it doesn't mean that because I can marry another wife, does not mean that you should be promiscuous, you should be up and you should be outside doing all sorts of things. No, there are rules. And it's still the same thing. You don't go and start sleeping around before getting married. You still go, it's the normal way, you know, courts, you know, people should do your courtship, but no sex, no any form of intimacy, and then you get married and you come into the house. It's done like that. So even after you get married and you're still outside, then you're not practicing polygamy. You're being promiscuous and all. So for me, I would say, for people who are married, I would say that cheating is not shouldn't be a deal breaker. The only thing, to me, what should be a deal breaker is domestic violence, if it is very, very hard. Why I'm saying cheating shouldn't be a deal breaker is because at some points, you know, sometimes your goals in life, at some point in marriage, it will not align anymore. There are some things that, okay, so if, for example, I got married at the age of, say, 27, what my likes are at the age of 27 will definitely change at the time I'm 30, 32, 33, you know, like that. So many things will come in, so many things will happen. And when those things are happening, it's for us to grow. It's a sign for us to grow and all. So for me, if a man is cheating, I'll just tell a woman, look, all you need to do is focus, take all the attention, put all the attention on yourself. This is for married people, women who are married. Just carry all the attention and focus it on yourself. Improve yourself, grow yourself. Join a girl group, you know, get yourself occupied, improve yourself in terms of maybe your education, career-wise, you know, and every other thing. Just remove all the attention from the man and focus it on yourself. Because if you try and say, okay, because cheating is there, you are going to, if you leave, are you going to tell me that when you leave, you are going to be on your own? Most times when they leave, they go into other relationships or even going to break other people's homes. So your living is not even the issue here. So the only thing you can do is just stay there and try as much as possible and just improve yourself while being in there. Yes,
Yeah.
that's my own view. That's what I think.
Because I don't agree with that.
Because the cheating, because they are not.
Well, Tiwa
forcing
Savage
it down
obviously
our
also
throats.
agrees with you when it comes to cheating. And, you know, one thing I would say is you're right about deal breakers changing over time. I know a few people, in fact, for us here, conversations in the beginning for cheating, no, yeah. But I've seen us evolve.
Yeah.
You know, especially with the married women. I've seen like much people in marriages when they're starting out, we'll be screaming that cheating. Cheating, if you try and look like you're cheating, even this is the end. But I now notice that women who have been in marriages longer and have children tend to almost rationalize this cheating. Like it's not the biggest thing that they can leave their marriages for. There are other things after all the years I've invested in. But what I found interesting about Tiwa Savage, you know, and I think it's smart, and I think we should talk about it a lot more. She said, drug abuse. Drug abuse, emotional abuse, you know, physical abuse, yes, that's something that we'll talk about, but emotional abuse, a lot of us don't even know how to articulate it. We don't even understand it, like how to express it to someone, but we just know that we're abused. A person just feels that I am going through something. Yes, they'll ask you, did he beat you? No, he did not beat me. So what is your problem? You are driving
And we
car,
don't understand it.
Yeah, so you don't understand, but there is something called emotional abuse where someone mentally denigrates you, breaks you down, tells you you are no good, tells you nothing good can ever come out of you. Every time you wake up in the morning, you wake up fearful because you just are afraid of what the next terrible words will be said to you. So those things are important conversations that we need to have. Drug abuse. A lot of times, you know, I'm seeing a lot of young people dealing in drugs, socially and lifestyle-wise, and then you're hanging out with these boys or these girls, then you want to get married, then you get married to that person. You know that the person is taking all sorts of pills, is taking all sorts of drugs. How is that not a deal breaker for ending relationships? Because it cannot lead to anything good. Then maybe this is someone that's able to hold himself for a while, being young, you know, lifestyle-wise. Then you get married, you get older. Then the effects of all that drug lifestyle starts happening. Then what do? Or children are coming in, and then you're unable to parent properly because you are dealing with a man or a woman who is dealing with drug abuse, and then you have children that you're trying to raise in a certain way. So this, for me, usually when we talk about deal breakers, I'm not saying cheating isn't one. It should be if it's yours. But in addition, we should talk about that drug abuse. We should talk about alcohol abuse, because you find yourself, you're married to a person who cannot, you know, who
drinks and messes up
abuses
himself.
alcohol, and then you have no one to talk to about it, because they say, but
Everybody
when he wakes, everybody drinks, or he's still a good man, but he's a good man that keeps losing his jobs because he cannot handle himself.
Or maybe pees on himself or pees on the road or misbehave.
He does not beat me, but just to see my husband or my wife in that state, for me, is emotional torture to see that my children are looking at their father or their mother in that state. So these are important deal breakers for me.
We'll take a break. When we return, we'll talk about the place of emotional abuse and what qualifies as an emotional abuse. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back.
I got that.
Thanks for staying with us. I was about to whisper something.
I got it. Too. That's why she left.
She was getting happy there somewhere.
Yes.
But let's talk about emotional abuse. You see this story. I was telling them during the break that I'm not a party to the advice of women stay because of cheating is a big deal. For me, cheating is a big deal. If you are choosing to stay, understand why you're staying. You are staying because finances, this man needs to be responsible. I don't trust if I leave, he'll be responsible for me.
Yeah.
The children need to go to good school. I'm not sure that if I leave, I can fund it by myself. Understand why you're staying. Understand that it is a sacrifice for you to stay. Because it is. I feel cheating is emotional abuse. Because the idea that, like, it will make you feel like, am I not good enough? Or what did I do wrong? Or could I have done better?
Yeah.
Then all those questions will flash through your mind. And there are many more important things for a woman to do than to be thinking, did I not look good enough? You should be, World Bank is waiting for you. Nations are waiting for you to rise up. There are many generations tied to you for you to be thinking about, maybe I was not giving it to him 21 times. Maybe I did not look like you, not because women go through those thoughts. Because I had a friend that was being beaten by her husband.
That's physical abuse.
Yes, and she was being cheated on, and she was being beaten, and she stayed.
Double whammy.
She stayed. Why? And I had conversations with her. I have 3 children already. Where would I start from? Like, she's not financially, she's not like she cannot stand and take care of herself, but she's like, I will not take my children away from him. We will not have to be living alone. Then maybe I'm the one, maybe I was rude. Maybe it's what I said. The kind of things she's thinking about. Why would she get promotion in the office? Guess what? The last beating that broke the camel's back was when she saw the trauma on her child.
Exactly.
Because the child went to school and was crying all day in school and didn't eat for 3 days. She didn't eat for 3 days. And the lady went, the girl went from being a chubby, happy girl to she lost weight, she's skinny and withdrawn. The school had to call. What is going on? They asked her, the man keeps beating the woman. Like, you don't understand the impact. So we raise other daughters who think the man can sleep with different people. I feel that cheating is a disrespect to the union of marriage, and it should not be normalized like we have accepted. I also believe that if you are from a polygamous home where you feel like your father loved your mother and yet had 3, 4 children from different women outside and loved you, and you are okay, good. But for the other person like me, who grew up in one father, one mother, unit family, I feel like it is strange that we have normalized what is not normal. If it is so you have a conversation around it and rationalize it. And sometimes, like in the case of, I know someone that had 3 official wives and still had children from like 2 other women.
Concubines and
3 official wives. And the 3 wives knew we are 3 official wives. And then they found out there was another child from outside. I'm like, and you're okay with it. They said, it's okay, and there's no problem. He loves me. Like, he really is caring, he's attentive, he's all of that. That he just cannot help himself. And you've rationalized and it makes sense for you. I'm not judging you. I'm saying don't judge me for saying cheating is a deal breaker. People judge. When you say cheating is a deal breaker, I've said it on this show before several times. I've stood on this point since forever, and I've gotten bashed back to back on the matter because they are wondering, Tokpa, it's because you've not seen anything. Is new marriage that is shocking you? Is this one? Allow me my point of view for the way I see it. Because you are disrespecting me if you cheat on me. This is like you disrespect the entity of who I am. I know what I am. I know who I am. Somebody will now say, the man that she's even forming love for is the one that I just finished in the hotel now. Like, in my head, I just have like different scenarios of, no, don't try. Permit my drama. So this is my point of view.
Okay, so Tokwe, let me tell you something. Domestic violence, that one, I've said it before, that is a deal breaker. It's a reason why a woman should leave her home. But we're in a society where they're forcing it down on us, on the women, to accept that men cheat. Now, the normal thing now is most men, they have side chick. And it's everywhere you see it on X, everywhere. Everybody is just saying, men have side chicks and all. So what do women in their marriages, what do you want them to do? If they leave at every point that when the man cheats that they will leave, a lot of women will have left their marriages because it's the norm now. They are trying. Look at we brought somebody here and the person said we brought somebody here and somebody said that men are supposed to have sex 21 times a month, and you know we women were like it's not too much. Some women were saying it's too much and all of that. And he's saying, so if he's going to do, and that's why he was now promoting polygamy, saying that men should go. So some men in the Christian faith, you're not allowed to marry more than one. So in that case, what is he going to do now? He will start having side chicks and he's outside. So now what I always say is that since they are forcing it down our throat and making sure that we accept it and all of that, then we, the women, we should start looking for ways and how we can manage ourselves so that when this thing happens in our homes, we know what to do. I cannot suffer with a man from when, you know, when he had nothing and now he's something, then I will now come and leave a home that I've built with my sweat, with everything.
For some women, they suffered with
because
him.
of, yes, because
some women built
cheating.
themselves at the same time.
Because he's cheating, because he's lost him, because he's lost. After a while, you know, it's, I think there's a stage, yes, there's a period when this thing happens.
You and I, we're going to forever disagree on this topic. So it's okay, let's move on. Thank you.
Abuse, right? And then there's a conversation people shy away from, even before marriage and after marriage. And I wonder, like, if you're being intimate with somebody, you're discussing every other thing, why do people shy away from discussing finances? I just don't get it. Discussing finances before marriage and while even in that marriage is super important for both parties. You need to know how this person is making their money. You need to know whether you're marrying a crime lord, or whether you're marrying a drug baron, or someone that wants to come and kill you and use it for rituals. You need to know the source of someone's income, know how they want to manage their funds, understand the projections, and also be accountable to some other person that you want to share your life with about how you're making your own money and your projections and what your plans are financially. People, I don't know why people are very antsy when it comes to discussing money and finances.
You feel that's emotional abuse?
Yeah, no, I'm coming to that. So because I have a family friend who, as in, he's a chronic gambler. And that destroyed his marriage. Okay. And for his wife, when he started, it was not a deal breaker. But by the time he was always, they lost their house.
Can you imagine?
Yes, they lost their house. They couldn't pay for their school fees because that's when you don't talk about money, you don't talk about finances. It was a chronic. They lost their house. And then when the woman now realized that, oh, this, at first it was not a deal breaker to her. But when it became a deal breaker was when the kids started pilfering and stealing.
The children.
The children, it started affecting the children because they didn't have, they started to steal. And, you know, and then she now realized, oh, this is now a problem.
Yeah. Not a family problem.
Not a family problem. And it became a deal breaker where she knew that I have to protect my children from this man that refused to seek help, go to therapy. You understand? So certain conversations must be had. I don't know why. And that is an emotional abuse, not just on the woman, but on the children.
I love this topic because for me also it was not something that, you know, I've always known. It's something that I have come to hear and I'm learning about it. So, you know, you were saying, why are people like this? Why are we antsy about it? Culturally, at least from my end of town, finance and talking about it seems as if you're being too forward or you're being rude or you're not properly raised or you have an agenda. Do you understand?
You're out for the money.
Yes, you're out for the money. So you don't discuss finances. And also because culturally is that the man, whoever it is that you're going to be with, the idea is that he's going to be the one to shoulder financial responsibility. So there's already this trust that whoever it is that you're dealing with, the man will be able to handle the finances, he will come in and that will be sorted. And also there's this thing where a woman also understands that whatever the finances are, this is the man I have chosen. If it's good, I'm good. If it's not good, we'll manage. Do you understand? So that is why people are antsy. That's why people are uncomfortable because we have had years and years where this is not a conversation you have. When you have that kind of conversation, you're not well brought up. You have an agenda. This is not a good woman to marry. This is not her wife material. You know, but you are right that this is a conversation you should have because I've seen young marriages that have gone their separate ways because of financial abuse, financial mismanagement. Because first, apart from knowing how they earn their money, you need to know how they spend, what they spend on, what they think is a priority, you know, to put their resources towards. What investment ideas and investment portfolio do they have and they're looking to have? How do they hope to build it? How do they hope to build yours? And how are they looking towards building for the children as well? These are important conversations to have. And I think it has come to the fore because marriages have sort of changed, where it's not just the man that handles everything. The wife is also empowered a certain way. So look at now, I'm an empowered woman, my finances are fine, and then I'm with a man who I'm not even expecting to bring anything, but the one he's bringing, he's not bringing it. He's not being upfront with what he has. He's, you know, then he's gambling up and down. So this is truly, for me, I think when we're advising young people, financial conversations is very important in relationships.
Before marriage.
Yeah, very important.
Welcome. We have a caller. Hello, Deshala. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Good morning.
This person is my namesake. My middle name is Odishola.
The issue I want to say that
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
The issue I want to contribute about the marriage issue is that both man and woman, they all cheat together. That is natural in Nigeria. Women cheat, man cheat. But woman cannot because of that. Woman cannot because of your husband cheats. You want to leave your marriage and leave your children. So another person to come and train your children. So let us manage ourselves. Women cheat, man cheat. But when we understand each other, we live long. Marriage is not something that we can celebrate until we get to 70 years in age. That's why you see many women today, they celebrate 30 years. Or you're able to reach 70 years in age. You cannot have right to cheat against your husband. Your husband cannot cheat against you. That's why you can celebrate marriage. But nowadays in Nigeria, with their voice, a little therapy is supposed to settle between husband and wife. You leave the marriage. Then you now leave the children suffering. So let us train ourselves to manage ourselves. And manage our relationship.
Thank you so much, Odushola. It's a little thing that was supposed to manage and resolve. It will leave the marriage.
And some people think cheating is
what is little to one person is a big deal to another person. And you cannot live life based on your perspective. You're working with another person, so you need to listen to the other person's perspective. That's why I cannot love you with my own love language. I can only love you with your own love language. Because if I tell you I love you from morning till night, but your own love language is for me to give you gifts or help you, act of service, and I'm confessing on dying love, and I can see you are dying under the weight of work. For you, you say, I don't love you, because if you love me, you will not see me working myself to death. Exactly. And you will be telling me you love me, I'm the apple of your eye. But you can see that I am sweeping, cleaning, doing everything. Yeah. I will just tell you, thank you, keep the love to yourself, because you don't really love me. If you love me, you will help me with the work I'm having to do. So we need to understand each other's perspective. But we need to, we're almost out of time, and I want us to talk about emotional abuse. And the difference, because Mariam really dug into it, but I feel like we didn't talk, we have not spoken extensively about the impact of emotional abuse. Men are suffering emotional abuse, they're just not aware of it, or they're not labeling it right. Because sometimes when a man says, I cannot go home, I don't have peace, let me just drink outside, it's emotional abuse, and he's unable to be well rested because he is running away from a home where he is not having peace. That lack of peace, sir, is emotional abuse. That is what we're talking about. It's the reason you probably have high blood pressure. Is what we're talking about. And when we don't talk about it, sometimes it is women are giving men emotional abuse, frustrating their life. And women too, some men are giving women emotional abuse, frustrating their life. They are belittling a man's efforts. The man will come back home with worked all day, and you say, what have you done?
Yeah. Okay. Can I just read this? I think it says emotional abuse can include verbal assault, dominance, control, isolation, ridicule, or the use of intimate knowledge for degradation. So your wife, of course, or your husband is openly intimate. Of course, you know, you're married, you're intimate, and then you use the information from your intimacy to rubbish the person. Then there's silent treatment, because a lot of people think it's only when the person is screaming and shouting at you. When the person ignores you, acts like you do not exist, like your words mean nothing, you're talking like they don't see you, that is also a form of emotional abuse. So you're now wondering, am I in a marriage or am I by myself? That nothing I say or do, even gets any reaction from the person that I am with. That is also a form of emotional abuse, and has great impact on the person and the marriage. And for me, that is a serious deal breaker as well. Because in that case, for me, I don't see that as a marriage. Okay. The screaming and shouting, at least, well, I don't even like that, but maybe at least there's a conversation happening. But that silent treatment, like they don't see you.
Yes.
Malice, I'll not eat your food, I'll not touch you, I'm not talking to you. And they can do that for 3 months.
Yes. Some even go more than 3 months, Seth. But it all comes with the marriage package.
No! Trauma, I'm so sorry. So malice and comes with marriage package.
No, but not for long. Not for long. Yeah. But there are times that there are some things that can happen in marriage that you people just need to give yourselves space. But not that you pack out. What he's just saying is, don't just any small thing you start, you pack out. Every small thing you leave the house. But there are some things that you just give yourself little time, little space, not so much. Let it not be more than.
Yes, I think the key word here is abuse.
Yes.
So yes, there are times when you're not speaking, but you're not doing it to the extent that it has become an abuse or a way to control or dominate the person. Of course, we're human beings now. Even between us, sometimes I give you a little bit.
And I think that when we say give it time, without therapy or analysis of what the issues are, you perpetuate the same circle over and over again. So if you keep quiet for a while, it doesn't solve the problem.
Yes.
If you don't go for counseling, read books. How many men read books on having a good marriage? And yet you want a good marriage. You want peace in your home, but you're not reading books on how to have peace in your home. You want to raise good children. You want your children to be, you want to be part of your children, but how many men read books on parenting? Because as we're talking about this BC's book that she just released, guess what? It's more women that will be actually reading the book.
Yes.
But yet the men want they want to raise awesome children. But you don't read about it. You read about finance. You go to the business schools to read about how to progress in your career. But you're not spending equal time. You say it's a woman's, the wife can handle it. So if the marriage breaks up, you say it's the woman that did not make it work. It's true, Amaka.
And also, like, as in for me, like I always say, communication. Because you've also find some couples that you can't speak, where the other person always shuts the other person up, both privately and in public, and puts it down. They don't even realize they're putting that, because in their mind, they feel like you're not the smart one. I'm the smart one in the relationship. Do you understand? People do that, and then they put you there when you want to talk. Like, they just feel like that, no, you're going to come here and disgrace us. And then they just talk over you and put you there. So there are different types of emotional abuse. So at the end of the day, like you said, it's about also communicating. If you feel that you're being abused, if you don't even know that you're being abused, you should also read about it. But sometimes some people are being abused, they don't even realize that they're even going through abuse. So information is power. You should know. People around you should also point certain things out, and then you should communicate your feelings to whoever it is that you're with, whether male or female, depending on who is being abused.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies. I have spoken a lot on this show. Like,
you have.
You know, I didn't moderate. I co-hosted the show.
You did.
But I hope that we learned something, one or two. We don't necessarily have to agree with everything being said, but pick the one that works for you and educate yourself to make your life work. That's what we can take on the show today. You'll see your View Pigeon ladies tomorrow. Till then, bye.
Bye.